Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here coming to you live from Vista in California. Let's try this again. I've had this thing keeps reconnecting and I have to keep ending it and restarting it because it takes a while. But even on Wi-Fi it does it. Don't get that. But anyway, hope you're all having a super fantastic, sparkling, thankful Thursday. Today's been a day of up and downs. But how was your thankful Thursday? Did you think... mine's gone totally blank, sorry. It's an like I said, it's been a day of up and downs. So have you contacted those that you love, your loved ones, and tell them how thankful you are that they're in your life, how blessed you are to have them, and tell them that you love them. Hold them close. You never know when's going to be their last day, and you need to take the time while they're still around to say thank you to them for being part of your life. Today it's 3 years since Brad passed. So today's been a very emotional day, very up and down. But it's still super fantastic and sparkling. I am still very blessed and very grateful for the time that I had with him. And my biggest honor was when the day he asked me to marry him and become his wife, and also a stepmom to his 3 boys. So our wedding day was one of the most proudest days of my life, to become part of that family. And so I was very, very blessed for the time, almost 19 years of marriage that we had. So very thankful and very blessed. So 3 years later, what's been going on? So I thought I'd reflect a little bit. Been sitting here in Brad's t-shirt all day. This is his Superman t-shirt. It's the same one I actually wore the morning that he passed away. It says on it what happened last night, and it's got Superman on it. This was one of his favorite t-shirts, and we would argue over who could wear the t-shirt. So he would wear the t-shirt for the day, and because he wasn't able to sleep in a bed, I'd have to go to bed by myself at night. So when he finished wearing the t-shirt, I would go take it out of the laundry and snuggle with it for a few nights until his smell wore off it, and then it would get washed, and then he would wear it again, and then I would grab it for a few days. So we carried on like that. But the morning that he passed, the caregiver had come in to tell me that just after 4 o'clock in the morning that he couldn't get a response from Brad. So I bounded out of bed. I had a night shirt on at the time, raced down the hallway, and then eventually I had to go back and get dressed and all of that. So I just went in the room, grabbed the first thing that came to hand, which was this and a pair of yoga pants, and basically put them on and went back out again and wore it and that's what I wore the entire day. No shower, no nothing, and I had people coming in and out of the house all day. I didn't care at that point. And I thought the shirt was rather appropriate with what happened last night, because I really did kind of feel that way. What happened? What happened? He was fine when I went to bed, and yeah. But so when I want to feel close to Brad, I put this shirt on and just snuggle up with it for the day. And today was one of those days I just wanted to feel closer to him. But it's been an up and down last 3 years. There's been a lot happening. At times I feel like I've been put through the ringer with everything going on, with legal stuff, with family stuff, with decisions. Because I'm now having to make decisions for myself. Normally I've made joint decisions, and all of a sudden, for the first time in my entire life, I was actually living by myself and had to figure out who am I and who do I want to become now that it's just me. So that process is still going. It's going to be an ongoing process for a long time as I make discoveries. And people go, oh, you're so strong and all that sort of stuff. There are days I feel so weak that I just want to curl up in a ball and cry. And I kind of don't like using the word strong, but I guess, when people haven't been through that and you're showing people the strength that you have inside, when you go at past journals you'd written and that sort of stuff, I just found my writing pad, which has my story stuff in it. I found that a few minutes ago. I was flipping through that and going, oh my gosh, I've forgotten I'd written all of that. And this is stuff for my books, my novels that I'm in the process of writing. Research is in there, notes is written in there, written whole entire chapters in there, crossed them out, rewritten them, drawn family trees that go with the novels, and all of that sort of stuff. And I'm sort of like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I'd written so much. But this pad of paper, I started using this when I did my Arizona trip October last year, and that was part of a sort of a self-discovery thing, to go exploring as well as a self-discovery thing. And some of the writing I did was more fiction stuff, but there was some journaling and stuff that went on. And so going back and reading some of that, it's like, man, I have come a long way, because the first 3 months after Brad passed, it was a complete fog. I know that my parents stayed for the month of October. I know I was by myself for a week. Then a girlfriend came out and stayed with me for a week and got all my accounting books up to date and everything. I know I was with family for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Beyond that, I can't tell you much more else about what happened. I do know I had the worst See's candy experience ever on my birthday, that first birthday, and I know that anniversary day I spent with Brad, and that's when I opened up my box of chocolates and had my first chocolate out of my See's candies. Those parts I remember. The rest of it's a blur. I don't remember much after that. So it's, I myself have come a long way. I've grown a lot within myself. I found a lot of confidence I didn't know I had. What else have I learned? I've learned I can make decisions, although some decisions are really hard to make, and it would be nice just to have somebody that you can just bounce the stuff off, just sit down and talk in the evening and bounce the stuff off. I crave human connections right now. I haven't had a hug in a long time. Craving hugs, just from family and friends. What else have we discovered? Well, of course, we made the big decision was to come live in an RV for, I was going to try it for a year to see how that went, and after the first year went by so quickly, I was like, we'll do this for another 2 or 3 years. But things change, you never know. So learning to drive Sparkles and taking her on these road trips, and finding out I had skills I didn't know I had. The fact that I have the ability to drive a 32-foot RV, it really amazes. I mean, I've gotten so used to it that it amazes me when I pull up in a RV park, and I'll get out and I'll start putting everything down. Putting down the feet, putting out the sides, hooking everything up, or breaking everything down. And people go to me and go, "Are you traveling by yourself in that?" And I go, "Yeah." And they're like, "Wow." And it kind of explains, why are people amazed that a woman can actually drive one of these things? Do you know how many school bus drivers we have that are women? Or bus drivers we have are women? Or truckers that are out there that are women? I'm like, and they are amazed that I can drive a 32-foot RV when there's women out there who drive 18-wheelers and school buses. And to be honest, driving this, I actually find easier to do than Brad's Yukon. I mean, he had a Yukon SUV, and this is actually lighter on the steering than his Yukon, although his Yukon could turn a really tight circle. That I have to give. But I think for this size RV, it does a pretty good circle for a U-turn. I've had to do a U-turn in her a couple of times. But overall, I find her pretty easy to drive. So I've learned that I can do that. I'm learning to do repairs and stuff and maintenance things and all that mechanic stuff my dad taught me years ago on how to take care of my car. Some of that's come in handy. I know how to check an oil level. So, there's been lots of things that I have learned along the way. I've, got myself a dog. Had her now for 10 months. So, and she's the best thing ever. Best thing I've done since Brad passed was getting that dog. She's a phenomenal traveling companion. So it's, instead of just being a co-pet owner, I've now been a solo pet owner. So that was a whole new learning curve for me as well, because there was stuff that Brad would take care of and stuff I would take care of, and sometimes we would cross over a little bit, but not really much. But now I'm having to do the whole taking care of thing. But yeah, it's learning new things and finding. It took me 16 months to figure out how to level this thing. Finally figured out how the little level buttons actually work when I need to lift up the front end instead of the back end, or lift up the side on one side because I'm leaning too far one way, and that sort of thing. And then this particular campground, none of their sites here are level. They actually have blocks here for you to drive up on, or to help chock your wheels, depending on, how you want to use them. And so for the first time ever, I actually drove up onto blocks. That was an experience, because I had to do it by myself. I had to get out there, line the blocks up under the wheels, then get into the RV and inch up. Although thankfully my driver's seat is front seats are directly over the wheels. So I stopped, put everything into park, opened up the window, stood up next to my driver's seat and leaned all the way out the window to see where my wheels were on the chock blocks. That was an experience, I can tell you that. But I do know when it comes to Monday next week, I've got to go backwards to get off them. I could go forwards, but I'm not sure if I go forward, with how high the blocks are, if they'll do any scraping or damage to the underside of the vehicle. So I'm going to go backwards off them, move them out of the way, and then we'll drive out of the thing. So I've already got that figured out. So it's figuring things out as well. And, if something goes wrong, it's figuring out, how do I fix this? Is it something I can fix, or is it something I've got to get a repairman in for? So there's all of those sorts of things. So yeah, there's been a lot of great stuff learning about living in an RV, but I'm thankful because the childhood I had, we would go camping all the time in a caravan, which for you guys is a tow trailer. The tow campers, the hard side with the triangular tow bar that goes on the back of the car, that type of thing. Yeah, we call them caravans in New Zealand. And we used to go camping in those all the time. There'd be 5 of us in 18 feet. I think it was 18 feet. It was short. It was definitely shorter than this. And we didn't have the expansion, and we didn't have any bathroom facilities in the RV. And the water for the camper was this big 5 litre. 5 litres at that point, or 5 gallons. It was this big white container. We had to go over to this tap, fill it up, bring it back, put the hose. It had 2 openings. Put the hose into one opening, and then you had to pump the faucet to get the water coming out. So to wash dishes and stuff, we had a basin that all the dishes would get put into, along with a measure of detergent, and then us kids would traipse over to the kitchen. They had what we call the ablution box, which had kitchen, restrooms, showers. And you had a laundry as well, but the kitchen was a full kitchen, so you had ovens and stoves in there, you had workspace in there, and you had sinks, and it was all stainless steel benches and all that sort of stuff, and or counters, not benches, so you could go over there, prepare meals there, and then take them back to your camper or out to one of the picnic tables. But us kids would carry this basin over with all the dirty dishes in at night with a measure of detergent in there, and then you just drop that into the sink, put all the water, put your hot water into there, soap it all up, clean all the dishes, and would wash and dry the dishes, and then head back, stack them all back into the now clean basin, and walk back over to the caravan with it. So we had a little gas burner in there as well. Didn't have an oven, no microwaves at that time either. Not that I really like using microwaves anyway. So this compared to what I grew up in and went camping in is luxury. I mean, I've got the extra space with the slide outs. I've got holding tanks, which I don't have to carry to fill up and drag them back. I've got bathroom facilities on board, fully, completely self-contained. I've even got an oven, which I still have not figured out how to light that thing yet. I mean, I know you've got to light the pilot and all of that sort of stuff. I just haven't read up the instructions on how to actually do that. I can light the grill top, the gas cooker top. I can light that. But I haven't figured out how. Well, it's because there's a little clicker thingy, and I've even figured out if the clicker thingy is not working, to lift the lid up, and how to plug the clicker wire back into its little slot thing, because sometimes on the road trips, that little wire that ignites the gas for the burners sometimes comes loose or sometimes comes off. So I've figured out how to put that back on. See, you learn things. I know where my fuse boxes are. I've figured out how to change fuses on those things. I've got a stash of fuses that I travel with. So there's learning all sorts of things. And my water filtration refill thing is coming. So that'll be another thing I'll have to learn how to do, because last time it got changed, my dad did it for me. So I'm going to have to figure out how to do that myself. So, you just figure things out. You figure out what you need to do, and go watch a YouTube video is the best thing to do. And then go do it. And then I also have great groups that I belong to too, because there's one just for Fleetwood Bounders, which is what I have. And I go in there and I'll just ask a question in there, and I'll get all these suggestions back. And what was one of the ones I was, there's one I did recently. I got a whole slew of different ideas and suggestions all around this one thing that I asked a question on. And that's right, because I asked if anybody had taken out the recliner that's in here, because it doesn't really recline unless you, hang on, I'm going to show you this. So there's my recliner. To get it to recline, I have to put that little table back away. I then have to turn it so the feet are facing the counter, and then I can fully recline the recliner. The problem is there's the TV. So fully reclined in the recliner, I can't see the TV. So my thought was, because I need extra workspace, is take out the recliner and put like a desk in that area, because there's like 3 feet of space from the wall out to the edge of that recliner. And then I can use this chair, the co-captain's chair, I can use that as the chair for the desk. And so one guy actually showed me a picture that he's got a desk there with a keyboard drawer, and where the desk is positioned, once he turns the captain's chair around, he can pull out the keyboard drawer and it brings it right up to where he is in the captain's chair, which is great, which is exactly what I want. So we're now looking at that. And then I was going to look at replacing the jackknife couch. It needs replacing anyway because it is worn as far as springs gone and that sort of thing. And I was going to replace it with recliners there, but there's this little boxy thing that's under the seats, and so I have to figure out if I can get a recliner in with that boxy thing there, or if I've got to go to another jackknife couch. So I really don't want to go to another jackknife couch, but you know, I can always replace it with something that's nicer. And then my blind, my second blind is broken. This one behind me, which I've now replaced with this gorgeous purple. So it's the backdrop now for my videos and things. And over the chair, over the recliner, I have a burgundy one, and this is a purple one. I'm kind of liking the purple. And I've got it. This is what I did with it. I actually pulled the cushion out today and tucked most of it down there behind, because full length, it actually comes down. It goes down the back of the seat and then across to the front of the seat. So it's quite long, but it was the shortest purple curtain I could find, and it came in pairs. So I actually have two of them. So I could actually end up replacing the burgundy one over there. But then I thought, well, hang on, the seat cushion that I'm sitting on, I need to get some more foam to create a new cushion for here, because I sit here so much that I now have this divot in the cushion, and I've already worn out the other one. Well, that was kind of worn out anyway, so I can't just swap them. So I need to do a new one of those. And I thought, well, the cover on this one's a little ripped. I need to replace it. So then I was thinking, maybe I could get one of these, and when I get my sewing machine out of storage, I could use this material, because this is a really, for a curtain, this is a really soft, it sounds a little weird, it's a really soft silky material, and the fold creases in it are starting to drop already, which is nice. But I thought, well, maybe I could use the curtain material to cover the seat, and then I would have matching curtains and seats. But you know, it's just all things. There's a lot of ideas I have. I have a notebook of ideas that I keep putting things in about things I would like to change in the RV. So I do have to at some point get a new blind for up the front window, because right now I'm using the Reflectix, although that seems to be working really well, and I don't have to have the engine on to raise or lower the blind like I used to before I stripped the gears and wasn't able to raise the blind, because that would happen when we were in Georgia and we ended up staying at this camp for extra time because I couldn't get the blind to raise. So we had a mechanic, had an RV service person who came out, and they disconnected they said, oh, the gears in this are stripped, and the gears in those front blinds are made of plastic, and when you strip them, that's it, you got to replace the entire blind. You can't just replace the little motor. So I had him cut the wires, cap them, and remove the blind and everything else, and I've just used the Reflectix ever since, and that seems to work. So maybe I'll just keep doing that rather than putting a blind up there. Although at some point I may put a curtain rail along there and put curtains on there. I don't know. It's just all ideas that are in my thing. So, you know, you look around and it's sort of like, I can't move the furniture around because I like to move furniture around. I can't do any of that because it's all bolted in. The closest thing I can do is replace my couch and take out the recliner. Although if I take out the recliner, I still want a recliner. So yes, big thing on that. But anyway, so today's been remembering Brad. I still haven't watched any movies that he likes yet because I kind of keep getting caught up in stuff. And just reflecting on where I was 3 years ago with everything that went on, where I've come to now, reflecting back on the life that we've had together. So it's been a day up and down with emotions and things. I did get to go on my mastermind group today because I had a meeting today, and I wasn't going to do it. I was just like, no, I'm just going to stay here. But I went on it, and I'm glad I did, because sometimes when you don't feel like doing something, that's the time you should do it, because it's the time that it has a lot of impact on you. So that was a good meeting that we had today as well. So it's been a very good day. So definitely better than the last 2 years. The last, like the 1 year anniversary and the 2 year anniversary. This year was definitely better. I think because I was in a better headspace than when I was last year or the year before. Yeah, last year I watched Lord of the Rings extended versions. So we're talking 12 hours viewing time over 3 movies. And I started at 9 o'clock in the morning and finished at 11:30 at night. That was a long day, and I thought, yeah. And I was planning on doing something like that today with like Star Wars or Star Trek movies or something like that. I even thought about Twilight Zone. Then I remembered I had Twilight Zone as in the box of DVDs that I have that are because it's in a collector's box. So I've kept them in the collector's box. So yeah, all sorts of crazy stuff. So I may even go watch Aragon, because Brad used to like that movie with the dragon, the last dragon rider. Aragon was a really good one. No, that wasn't the one with Sean Connery. That was Dragonheart, that has Sean Connery as the voice of the dragon. I don't think I have that one on DVD, but I do have Aragon, so maybe I'll go watch that one, because that was one of Brad's favorite movies as well. Anything with dragons or fantasy or sci-fi, it kind of got me hooked on those. And there's a couple of the new Star Trek Next Generation movies that I like as well. So, and a couple of the original Star Trek movies that I like too. So maybe I'll go watch the ones that I like in his honor. But it's going to be one movie tonight, because that's all I've got time for tonight. It's just one movie. But anyway, that's been my day. How was your day? How was your Thankful Thursday? What were you most grateful for today? And I was just grateful to be able to just take time out and remember and be thankful for all the blessings and the great memories that I have of my time together with Brad. And Zeffie's been awesome. She comes up to me every night. She's been more clingy to me today, I guess because she may have sensing the mood change with me, but she's been more clingy with me today. When I was typing my Facebook post this morning in memory of Brad, she kept coming up to me and she was whining like crazy, but she'd come up with me and I'd bend down to pet her, and then she'd want to play. So that was really cool, because she distracted me enough that I wasn't, like I have been the last 2 years when I've been writing this tribute to Brad, I wasn't doing it through tears. So she kept me distracted enough and kept me laughing enough while I typed it, which was kind of cool. So, animals have amazing senses, and they just seem to know when you need them the most. And so for that, I am thankful. But anyway, that's it from me for today. Have a super fantastic, sparkling, thankful Thursday. Oh, before I forget, oh my gosh, I have to say thank you to everyone who has sent me text messages, Facebook messages. I know there's a bunch of comments in there as well. People have sent me emails as well, just telling me they're thinking about me today and sending me virtual hugs and everything. Thank you so much. I've been offline most of the day, but my phone would ding every now and again. So before I did this, my phone started to ringing with robocalls, like just before I came on the live. So I put my do not disturb on. You don't want phone calls? Put do not disturb on you. Just remember to take it off later. And that's different from silent mode. Or put it in airplane mode, even better. But then you can't get online and do like your Facebook lives and stuff. But do not disturb means the phone won't ring. Yay! But anyway, that's it from me for today. So thank you everybody for all your love, concern, your messages, with love, comfort and support. Truly appreciate them all and love you all. So have a super fantastic, sparkling, thankful Thursday. Hei konera.